Grand Portage Resources recently completed the 2018 drill program on its 100% controlled Herbert Gold Discovery property located in the prolific Juneau Belt in southeast Alaska. Drill results are expected through late 2018. Past drill results included numerous multi-ounce gold assays on multiple veins. Grand Portage trading symbols are GPG on the TSX Venture, GPTRF on the OTCQB, and GPB on Frankfurt. For more information, please visit our website, grandportage.com.
You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Mish Shedlock, editor of Mish's Global Economic Trend Analysis on maven.net/MishTalk. Welcome back to the show, Mish.
Pleasure to be back on.
The U.S., well, is it going to be a big showdown in Argentina at the G20 between President Trump and President Xi of China?
I don't know. Both sides here are we're getting conflicting messages. Trump is saying that it doesn't look like there's going to be a deal. We're going to do more tariffs. Some of his aides are saying the opposite. And then every other day, those situations, those roles are reversed. So I don't know. They're gaming this thing up for some reason. My own expectation is there's no deal, or perhaps there's a minor deal that lets them hold off on strong new tariffs for a while they work on it. I don't know, Jim. Trump seems hell-bent on doing two things, raising tariffs on cars, and raising tariffs on China. Perhaps he doesn't want to do both of those things at the same time with the spat that he got into it with GM. But who knows? They say this is all part of the deal. It's unsettling the markets, actually.
Did President Trump say he thought consumers could take a 10% tariff on iPhones?
Well, I think he was talking in general, but yeah, he said iPhones, and it's crazy. Phone sales are already slowing. Of course, Apple has a luxury here that a lot of other businesses don't. That is, Apple could decide to say, okay, we're going to take a profit hit and slash prices. Apple has itself to blame for a lot of its woes right now. They came out with 3 models, and unless you're willing to pay top dollar for the top end one, the other models aren't even improvements, or they're improvements in one area, but perhaps not improvement in the camera. They really screwed up the camera on their low-end model such that no one would want it. And on the high-end model, someone's going to say, do I want to pay $1,200 for a new phone, or am I just going to keep the one I've got for a couple more years? I think that's the state we're at here now. They're offering marginal improvements for the average person, and they've run into kind of a brick wall here as to whether or not people think they need a new phone.
Well, are millennials in financial trouble? I hear now they're buying their tee and sweatshirts on layaway plans.
It's possible. I saw a report from last year. It'll be interesting to see what happens at this Christmas. But a huge chunk, it was like over 30%, I don't remember the exact number, are still paying off their credit card bills from, well, last year it was from a year ago. Now it will be from 2 or 3 years in a row. People who are carrying balances here on their charge cards, credit cards, of over 20% are absolutely crazy. I don't know what this Christmas holiday season is going to be. On Friday, we saw reports that traffic was up on Thursday, and then on Monday, we saw reports that traffic was actually down over the whole Thursday to Monday period. The one thing we're reasonably certain of here is that online sales are soaring, and the competition is a lot higher. So even if traffic was up, it doesn't look like profits are going to match. And we saw a weakness in a whole bunch of retail shares heading into Black Friday. Gained a little bit back on Monday. I think it's going to be a pretty dismal season for profits, if not for actual sales.
We'll have more with Mike Shedlock right after this.
Hi, I'm Douglas Mason, President and CEO of Magnum Gold Corp, MGI and the TSX Venture Exchange. A 2015 drill program on the LH property intersected several high-grade gold intersections, including 11 meters of 20.66 grams per ton gold. Additional drill targets on the LH property have been identified by a 2018 drone airborne magnetic survey to further evaluate a pyrrhotite-enriched gold-bearing system. Please visit our website at magnumgoldcorp.com.
MGX Minerals is revolutionizing the new energy economy with patented lithium extraction technology, replacing traditional solar evaporation using low-cost, low-energy nanofiltration. The first system of this paradigm shift technology is currently being commissioned. MGX Minerals trades on the CSE, symbol XMG, the OTCQB, symbol MGXMF, and Frankfurt, symbol 1MG. For more information, visit our website, mgxminerals.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Mike Shedlock. Mish, are we hitting what I would call a soft recession? We're hearing of major layoffs, GM, 10,000 jobs, Bayer Pharmaceuticals laying off 12,000, Bombardier Aerospace laying off 5,000 people. Is this the thin edge of the wedge?
I think so. GM was like almost 15,000, 14,800, something like that. Some of that was international. I didn't have an exact handle here on the U.S., but they're closing 5 plants in North America, 4 of them in the U.S. Of course, Trump went on a rampage. So did Trudeau, but more so Trump. We could see this coming for a lot of reasons, and it goes back to April, actually, Jim, when GM came out and it said it's going to stop reporting monthly car sales numbers. And I looked at that and said, what does this mean? It doesn't pretend anything good is exactly what I thought. And sure enough, here we are. GM's going to close, 8 plants globally. And Trump threatened them, and it was sort of bizarre how he did it. He threatened them in a tweet. He said, first one was just pretty vague. He said, well, they'd better not, close these plants, or if they do, they'd better, reopen better ones somewhere else. And then in the second tweet, he said, well, if GM does this, we'll think about eliminating all GM subsidies, including ... And that's exactly how he ended it. It was including ... I'm sitting there scratching my head, okay, what subsidies are we talking about here? There's tax credits for, electric vehicles and stuff like that, but that doesn't go to GM, that goes to the consumer, although it does induce the consumer to buy some of these models where GM might be losing a profit on it without these subsidies. So GM indirectly benefits from this. But the only other subsidy I could even come up with, Jim, was we've got a 25% tariff right now on all trucks and SUVs, and that's the only thing really keeping U.S. truck sales humming along. We have these monster big tariffs on the rest of the world. That's why Ford and GM sell all the trucks that they do. So since he's talking about increasing tariffs, it doesn't seem like he's going to be reducing these particular tariffs. So his whole tweet made not a lot of sense to me. I think he included ... because, quite frankly, he didn't know what to say, because there was nothing to say. But all of this kind of talk, it can do nothing but rattle the market. The CEOs are going to hear this message. They're going to think more tariffs are coming, whether they are or not. I actually think they are. And look at what tariffs have already done to GM. We force up the price of steel and aluminum. The biggest user of that is the auto industry here in the U.S. And the steel goes to Japan. It goes to the EU. They did not hike up their tariffs in response to this, so they're building cars cheaper than what the U.S. can do here now because of that. So it's a ploy that I believe has backfired. It's exasperated GM's already huge problems. And, Trump does not see himself as being part of the problem. He is.
We'll have more with Mike Shedlock right after this.
I'm Kelly Jennings, CEO of Powerband Solutions. Powerband is a cloud-based provider of auction, inventory, and finance solutions that make buying, selling, and financing vehicles more efficient. Powerband Solutions trades on the TSX Venture Exchange symbol PBX and on the OTCQB symbol PWWBF and on Frankfurt symbol 1ZB. For more information, please visit us at powerbandsolutions.com.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Mike Shedlock. Mish, the Fed, are they going to slow down or put the brakes to interest rate hikes?
It sure looks like it. Curiously, I'm not sure if the bond market's reacted too much to that yet. Fed Chair Jerome Powell ignited a huge stock market rally yesterday with just a couple of words. Although it was a couple of words, it was a big modification to what he said previously. Last month, he said that the Fed was nowhere near neutral, and he came out and said, we're very close to being neutral now. Well, the implication to that is that the Fed is going to get to neutral and stop hiking. Well, if we're very close to neutral, and one more hike is coming in December, won't we be at neutral? Now we're mincing what does very close to neutral mean? Is it one hike? Is it two? Anyway, the stock market had a big rally on those words. There was not a big rally in the bond market over this. The mortgage rates came down over the last week, almost in anticipation of this news, but also I think of slowing housing sales. So here we've got this sort of a mixed message here between the stock market and the bond market. My ultimate belief here is, and it has been for some time, is that we're far closer to the end of this rate hike cycle than ever. And we really didn't get that far. They did get in 8 hikes, I guess, 9 maybe. But interest rates at 2.5%, that range, that's not even up to the long-term average here, and we're talking about it ending.
Bitcoin still plunging. Is it the end of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, or will they survive?
It's going to be a long, drawn-out mess, most likely. The only use I can see for Bitcoin here is one of speculation. It started out as a promise to do all kinds of transactions. It started as an alleged threat, to the global fiat banking system. Everyone was supposed to, rush out and buy Bitcoin and use it for all kinds of transactions. Well, in practice, in the United States, only 5% of the people have Bitcoin. There's a huge number. This kind of surprised me. It was like 30% of the people haven't even heard of Bitcoin. I wonder what planet they're on. But the transaction costs have been extremely high. And the usage rate is plunging. Some merchants that accepted Bitcoin no longer do. They simply don't want to deal with it. No one really, even companies that accepted Bitcoin, they didn't hold it. They would accept Bitcoin in a transaction, and they would turn right around and sell it back for U.S. dollars. So it's only a speculative deal here in the first place. I don't think it can survive as such. IMF head came out, Christine Lagarde came out a few weeks ago and talked about, central banks having their own, cryptocurrency. That would probably be, if they did, that would probably be the end of it, right there. But I think it's going to take a lot longer than that, and it's going to certainly survive as a while as a speculative toy. There could be a strong rebound at some point. I actually think it's going to fall to $2,000 and then perhaps double in price back to $4,000 or $5,000. But ultimately, it's failed in its plan as a transaction medium, its plan as a currency medium. It's only got a speculative asset. So I don't think it's going to succeed on that.
The modern version of tulips.
Pretty much. The thing is, there's no scarcity to them. Bitcoin came out and said everyone's going to adopt Bitcoin. Instead, what happened is there's 2,500 competing cryptos. It's easy enough to start a crypto. Anyone can do it, and they're all have their own claim to fame. I've got some comments from someone on the Ethereum project. Actually, he wrote a key component of it. And he's not a believer. He doesn't own any cryptos, but he sees a lot of use for blockchain. And that's exactly where I am with that. So I asked him to write up a little blurb on the top 15 cryptos. Certainly we're not going to analyze 2,500 of them and explain what they're all about. But it's like, okay, so Ethereum came out and the fork in Bitcoin came out. They, wanted to increase the block size so they could get more transactions through. Each time they do that, they got to get consensus from all the miners to do that. We've already had two hard forks here on a hard fork and then another hard fork on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin started out with 21 million tokens, roughly. The first fork to Bitcoin Cash created another 21 million tokens for Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash forked last week, and we have so one of them is called Bitcoin Cash and the other one called Bitcoin Cash SV. Now 21 million tokens from that. So, this whole idea that there was this, limited supply of these tokens is fallacious in and of itself. And then, of course, we have not only do we have these forks, these battles over what the protocol is supposed to do, anyone can start one at will, and we've got 2,500 of them. Why is any of them going to gain acceptance? Well, Bitcoin, simply because it was first. That's it. It has a first mover advantage. Otherwise, there's no rational reason to prefer it over any of the others. They're all essentially the same.
Mish, thank you so much for chatting with us.
A pleasure to be on, Jim.
My guest has been Mish Shedlock, editor of Mish's Global Economic Trend Analysis on maven.net/MishTalk. If you have any questions for Mish or any of our other guests, you can send them to info@howstreet.com. Find us on Twitter @HowStreet, our YouTube channel, Talk Digital Network. I'm Jim Goddard. Thanks for listening.
Comments made on HowStreet.com radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com radio is a production of HowStreet Media Incorporated.